Cool. So let's get into Vandy. We got our week 3 matchup here in Nashville. We have some birthday festivities going on for Huck, so I probably will not be going to that game. But it is a game that for Vandy, obviously, the expectations are keep playing hard, keep getting better, figure out, watch what South Carolina did well, which for Vandy, Ken Seals and that wide receiver core, that's something that they can probably have a little bit of success on, is getting the ball out on the perimeter and getting the ball over the top and taking shots in some of these matchups. But the offensive line for Vandy, that's going to be a concern. And I listen to Bleav in Vandy. My guy Matt D. Perkins and Ryan Seymour, they're on that show, and I've heard Seymour go off on that offensive line week after week after week. Let's just say they're going to have a hard time blocking this defense. But is there anything in your mind, having watched Vandy a little bit, and obviously watching the Dogs, is there anything that Vandy can do to cover this 34.5-point spread?
That would be stretch the field. If they can stretch the field on us and actually get the pass off, that could pose a problem for us for just a little while.
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing I see. We're going to stop the run. South Carolina couldn't even they maybe had 50 yards rushing. I could be wrong, but just from watching it, they maybe had 50 yards rushing. That's just off the penalties. Nobody's really been able to run the ball on it. So I doubt that Vandy will. If their offensive line is struggling, like you say, they definitely won't be able to run the ball against us. The only way they can beat us is to throw the forward pass. And, well, you got a lot of heat coming at you if you try to do that. And with a young line, an inexperienced line that Vandy has, it's not going to be a pretty night for the quarterback. If I were them, I'd try some rollouts, some sprint outs, things like that, quick passes to get the ball out of his hands.
In tempo, I would try to move with some tempo and just try to, because you're not running the ball, that's for sure. But I would try some tempo there for if I'm Vandy, like you said.
But one thing I do know, after Georgia got burned on that one tempo play, it didn't happen again. And I guarantee you that's been a focal point at practice this week. Tempo, get yourself lined up, and even if the call's not in, most coaches, defensive guys that I know especially, if it's a tempo play, then you automatically just go to the last call that you just had, or you just go like base, your base defense, and you just run that. So I guarantee you they got that fixed this week. So even with tempo, I bet Vandy, look, they're coming. Them dogs are hungry. And one thing about now, Georgia can't play to the level of the competition, because no matter who you play or where you play them at, Vandy's going to play hard against you. Vandy's one of those pesky teams as well that if you slip up and make it a ball game, they're going to keep it close.
I've seen it plenty of times. Go up there, sleepwalk, and come out of there with a 2-point win or God forbid a loss. So, it's one of those games they have to come in, dominate early, get in, get out, get the victory, and let's go home and get ready for Arkansas. So
exactly.
I think that when you look at it for Georgia's defense, if they want to stop any threat, just hit the quarterback repeatedly, stop the run, and be ready for tempo, which I think all of the check marks are going to check off there for this offense. I think just stick with the same game plan, tempo, take shots, run the ball. I think you're going to have a little bit more success running the ball. South Carolina was surprisingly good, or better than I thought they were going to be defending the run. So the backs didn't quite have the field data that I was expecting. Not to say that I was disappointed, just to say that, we were able to hurt them through the air. Some of the big plays kind of limited our play count, but I'll take that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. So, but when you look at this game plan, it's going to be take some shots over the top, continue to feed Brock Bowers, get James Cook, Zamir, McIntosh, Milton involved in the game plan. Each guy had over 6 yards per carry with their attempts. So that was good to see. But, just keep this offense humming like it has been, and, just keep rolling, man. And I think it's going to be good.
Exactly. The main thing for here, don't outcoach yourself and call plays that we know that we can execute well. This is one of those games to where if you turn the ball over, it's going to be a long night for you. So although it is Vandy and they're not very good this year, I mean, they're going to play hard against Georgia. Because what better way to shock the world is to knock off the #1 team in the nation at home in Nashville.